Hi, this is Christina Crawford with xtinastamps.com. Are you ready for the project of the week? I'm really excited to show this one because it has to do with the way my website is designed. It has like that superhero theme. It's just really fun. I had a few friends start calling me Xtina a while ago, so I just kind of worked with that, and that's how I came up with my website name. So this project of the week is going to be using the Calling All Heroes stamp set. It is item 138002, and it is probably going to be sold out fast. So hopefully you can get this if you're watching it. If not, I'm sure that you can find an avenue as where to get it, or I am happy to help you try to track one down. But this is a really fun set and it's a popular design. So let's get started. To start the project, I'm using a half sheet of basic black cardstock, and I will fold that in half with the bone folder. Gives you a nice crease. And next I'm using a smaller piece of the real red. It is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'll start by using some of the SNAIL adhesive to get a little bit of tape on each corner and to layer that right on top. And I'll be stamping on a piece of the Whisper White cardstock. It is 1/4 inch smaller than that real red. So it is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Let me just pull some paper to stamp on. And I know it might be hard to see white on white, but I'm going to be getting a little messy and I want it to protect that board. So with this stamp set, there is a really great, I was going to say crazy and great at the same time, so it came out great. This stamp right here is a wonderful background stamp. And I wish it was a little bit longer, but I'm going to show you how you can make it longer without the gradient being dark again midway. So this is a photo polymer stamp set. And it's kind of gooey, and it's awesome because it sticks nice and clearly on those acrylic blocks and it doesn't move. Another benefit is that when you stamp, you can see exactly where you're going perfectly. You see that perfect image. I'm using the pink Pirouette ink pad. I think a pastel would be nice. Maybe a soft sky you can use as well. I'm going to ink that up and start by stamping on the bottom and layering that together. And I know you see a little bit of separation. That's okay. When you see the finished result, then you'll know what I mean. However, if I wanted to just take a little bit more time, then I would be able to get that perfect, but it's not necessary. I'm going to turn it sideways and turn my stamp over as well, and then just start by the lightest shade and just matching that and meeting that up, so I don't have to deal with that darker shade again. So quickly I'm stamping and covering up the sky. You can kind of go back over if you want to with those dots and fill that in just a little bit. So now I have my background stamp. It's a little gradient. It's going to be fine with that, and it's creating a really wonderful comic book background image. The next step is using the cityscape, and so you see that right here, and it's a little bit shorter than the width of my postcard. So I'm taking the Memento ink pad, because I like this black ink pad. I'm going to be using it again in a moment, and inking up my cityscape. You can pretty much see through that, so you can kind of see where you need to go again. Sometimes it tricks you. Looks like there's no ink on it, but there's a lot. And starting at the bottom, stamping and holding it down, and then lifting it up. Get it to come with me. And then I'm going to continue on with that same cityscape. And sometimes when I have a little bit of a variation at the bottom, I got this pretty close to the bottom, I just ink up one more time, and since that's going to be a solid black at the bottom, I just go ahead and stamp the bottom again right over that. It might give you a little variation of black, but I think that's going to be cool. You'll see the finished product in a moment. So the nice thing about the Memento ink pad is that it washes pretty well, even off of the photopolymer stamp set, and I really like that. So I'm going to take some of the Stampin' Mist. Oop. Hello. And that, you can see how messy that is. And then you can see how nice and clean it becomes. So I like that. It's difficult to get stays-on off of the photopolymer. It is not really recommended. So there's my cityscape right there. And so what I'm going to show you now is how to do a little pow, a little wow. Show you. And so let me show you how I came to that. I took a piece of scrap paper, and with this set comes that really cool bubble for it. I'm going to use that Memento ink pad once again and stamp that, and just give it one moment. I'm using the Blendabilities markers, and these are the Daffodil Delight series, and you could really choose which one you like. Let me just use the lightest one to show you the difference, because in the sample I've already used the medium one. And I'm using that really fun brush tip. These are fabulous markers because there's no streaks with them. They're just so fluid and wonderful to work with. You should really use them with the Memento ink pad because it handles these alcohol-based blendabilities very well. Doesn't smear, as you see. You know, it's tricky with the yellow. You don't want to mess up your yellow marker, so it's really important to use this ink pad with these blendabilities. So the stamp set comes with an alphabet. And this is really fun because you can play around with the words. I think the tricky part would be if you want to say like happy birthday, there's 2 P's in happy. So what you can do is just take the H-A-P, and there's the P, and then line it up and do hap, and then do it again with another P and then Y at the end of it, but you'll be able to see through clearly. So hopefully you'll be able to see this just a little bit, but I've stamped wow. How did I get the 2 W's? Well, it's the M upside down. I think when we were in grade school, we knew that we can take an M and turn it upside down, and you would get a W. So let me use that Memento black. I'm just going to show you a variation of design and color. And I'm stamping with that. And then there's a little apostrophe, I'm sorry, an exclamation point. And I'm going to ink that up on the side right there. And stamp that right there. Now the reason why I put the exclamation point on the other side is because if you did want to change the color, you have the W-O-W in red, that's real red, and then the exclamation point in black because it was on the other side. But if you wanted to have it all in one, you can definitely take the exclamation point and just line it right up, and you can see that right on the stamp. And then of course you give that some little bit of Stampin' Mist and clean that. So now let me reach and grab my paper snips. This is super easy to cut out, and you're not going to watch me do the whole thing because I think you get this. But the paper snips are super sharp, and they're fabulous with cutting out all kinds of bubble images, rounded images, but you know, of course when you're doing little triangle cuts, it's just super easy. So the wow gets cut out. And let me show you the finished project and then show you how I came up with that a little bit more. And this is what we have. I used dimensionals to put underneath the wow, and that gave it a little bit of a lift. And then I used the sequins and put some stars in the sky. I added a little bit of those rhinestone jewels, stickers right on top of those stars. And I thought, you know, since I have those Daffodil blendabilities, let me go ahead and just make it so it's a night scene, and you can see that there's the windows are yellow as opposed to keeping the windows white. So you can see how with the variations in that background, it just kind of all blends in really well with the cityscape. And then you can just add anything that you would like in the sky. So with these little sequins, I used the mini glue dots. So I'll show you that real quickly. You could use a Tombow glue. You can take out these mini glue dots. I like to keep my mini glue dots protected. I hate when I stick them in the box and then there's a bunch stuck at the bottom of the box. So what I do is I wheel them back this way, and then when you see one exposed, you stop, and there's no mini glue dots there. That one is the next one to be used. And then the sequins, they like to be static. You can just take one, there's one. You could use tweezers. I have them just inches away, but for some reason I'm just going to be stubborn and use my hands here. And pick up that star and then just lay it right down. So there's a little bit of an exposed mini glue dot under there. You can just take your nail, you can take the bone folder, you can just kind of push it right underneath because it's very flexible, and then it won't stick to anything. And that's how I got those stars on the sky. So once again, those great little sequins come in handy to just bedazzle your card. And here is the finished card. So let me show you the inside, because this is such a fun stamp set. I wanted to have fun with the inside, and so I made the little mask with the lips and the hair, the early espresso, which is my hair color, and I added Bravo, and Bravo comes from the Bravo stamp set. It is item number 135380, and I just thought that that was pretty good for the inside of the card. And of course, a matching envelope liner. So watch my how-to video on how to use the framelits, the envelope liners, because I have a video tutorial on that, so you can see how easy it is to just pop one of those out and put it inside of an envelope to use and to jazz up the card. So that is my project of the week. I hope that you find it fun and that you find it easy and that it's something you'd consider making. Thanks, and have a great day.